important, how special that is. So don't think that we ignore what you already are doing. And we just are tremendously grateful for the contributions that Guam makes. Now, the implementation of the Guam realignment, we think has advantages to all stakeholders. Obviously, the Department of Defense, to our federal resource agencies, but also the government and citizens of Guam. We think that Guam can be and should be a shining example of the best of America as the front porch, as we say, to the United States. And I want to highlight in particular, by the way, and I'm sure you'll talk about it, I saw it in the agenda, highlight in particular interest in promoting energy and environmentally safe technologies here in Guam. We really think this can be a showcase for that kind of renewable energy resources. And we absolutely agree that this is something that's not simply within a fence line, but outside a fence line, and I think there is no difference between the two. We can't be thinking in terms of inside and outside. That's a false dichotomy. There is one Guam when it comes to this. Your success is going to be our success in this regard. Now, what is Washington doing? And let me just say a little bit about that, and then I can leave some time for questions. First, I want to say that we do recognize the enormity and the complexity of this undertaking. And we also recognize what we're asking of the people here in Guam over the next several years. It's enormous. And I noticed it during my first trip. People asked me when I got back, what the bottom line was. And I said, it's like a tsunami is about to hit. And they're wondering, where's the help? They know you're feeling a bit insecure. All this is happening. We put a lot of responsibilities onto you. But you're uncertain about where the commitment is in Washington. I know in the past 2 months since I've been here, a lot has been done. I got that sense from Congresswoman Bordallo and from Governor Camacho. I hope that there's more evidence and reassurance that we see what's going on here. We're starting that process of assisting. So you're getting adequate support from the U.S. government. And as I said when I was last here, we're expecting a lot of you, and it does make sense that you would expect a lot of us in Washington in return to assist you in that endeavor. You will not be left on your own. Within the Pentagon itself, as Congresswoman Bordallo mentioned, we have a senior deliberative board, the Guam Oversight Council, that meets regularly, brings together key DoD stakeholders, including the combatant commands, military departments, service leaderships, to review and address the implementation challenges. It's about every 2 weeks or so, chaired by the Deputy Secretary of Defense. The Council's agenda includes a range of implementation issues associated. We have, in addition to more than $300 million in military construction funding currently programmed for FY 2010 alone. There are other examples of federal engagement funding for outside the fence projects. That includes a U.S. Department of Agriculture approved $103 million in grants and loans for a new environmentally compliant landfill. Secretary of the Navy is discussing, as mentioned, the need with the Department of Transportation and Agriculture, the need to upgrade Guam's port. And of course, the port got the designation of a strategic port, which will put you in a much better situation to get the funds necessary to build and make it more capable. And there was a Tiger grant for the port expansion that was already discussed. So let me just conclude by saying getting Guam right, as Congresswoman Bordallo mentioned, is critical. It's not just something that the people of Guam are focused on, but we are very, very focused on. The success of Guam here is critical for the success of our Asia policy, to be frank, and the success of our strategy in the 21st century. This is not an overstatement. There will be challenges as we go. This is, I say, a highly complex undertaking, and there are 5 elements, as you heard in this talk. There's the intra-DoD. Within DoD, there's managing all the different components, make sure we're aligned. There is the management inside the executive branch, so that we in the Departments of Transportation, Agriculture, White House, everyone work together. That's the second kind of coordination needs to be done. With Congress is third. With the Japanese government is fourth. And of course, with you all here in Guam is fifth, making sure we are able to balance and align all of that. In my office, we've just hired somebody to do Guam work uniquely. It used to be a function of our Japan work, and you couldn't do the U.S.-Japan alliance and focused on Guam. I don't know how hard, if you know how hard it is to get a billet, to get a spot to hire somebody new. Well, we struggled, we pulled, we got one billet because of JIGPO actually. And we have somebody in our office that will be focused uniquely 24/7 on all the aspects I just laid out when it comes to the move to Guam. That's the interagency, that's the Congress, that's everything. So we are putting in place the infrastructure to deal with this in the appropriate way. I understand there's some frustration as we go, and we understand it's been a slow start due to a number of factors. But as you, I think, can detect, we're picking up steam. You are seeing more and more official visitors. I've been here now twice in a few months. You'll see them from DC, from Tokyo, etc. They will come for fact-finding, and you'll see more in weeks and months and years to come. And all I ask is you be patient with us. Last time I heard the line, we see a lot of you, we hear a lot of talk, where's the action? We're still learning, we're still getting a sense, but we are here to talk, to listen, and to discuss what's going on. You will see more of us. And we need your goodwill, and we need your partnership. So let me just say that the efforts of the government here, legislature, the governor, Congresswoman Bordalio, the community leaders have all helped us identify the needs and find solutions that benefit both the community here and our move. We welcome, we need to continue that dialogue. And the Department of Defense, I can just speak for my department, we are committed to taking a leading role in the interagency process and the overall process, but we can't do it ourselves. The important principle, just to underline, is that we make this realignment successful for the people of Guam as well as for the United States strategy. We will do our best. So thank you very much for listening, and look forward to hearing from you. So we can take a few questions. If I had an hour and a half sleep, so be gentle.
You talk about green environmental protection. How do you justify carrying out 39 acres of one of the rarest coral reefs at Polaris Point? You know, there are environmental groups internationally concerned with reef protection as protection for our global environment. What kind of environmental impact, how does the environmental impact statement address that?
Well, you kind of answered it for me, which is there is this environmental impact statement that is taking into account all of this.
How do you mitigate for destroying 39 acres of coral reef?
That I can't answer from a technical perspective, but I think the environmental impact statement takes that into account, and you'll have a chance to comment and again to figure out a way to mitigate as best we can the burdens or the other factors that come with the increasing presence here on Guam. So we recognize there are a lot of factors here. So I think you all know about the process as stated by the governor, that there will be a lot of time for task force or town hall meetings and for discussion on all of this. So we'll take that step by step to see how these things can be mitigated and how we take account of them as we go. Yes, ma'am.
Concerned that already at the outset we have become illegal with the NEPA process. You did not talk about a no-action alternative, and you stated basically that you've decided that one is where this thing is going to happen. Whatever happened to the no-action alternative as an integral process of the NEPA?
Well, this is, I mean, overall, I don't know entirely how no action alternative plays into this exactly. But my understanding is we have a plan here that we are discussing, that we want to make sure that we are doing this in a way that is least harmful to the citizens of Guam. You know, if there is a real distaste for what's going on, you know, we have to hear out citizens, because you are American citizens. We need to hear out what your concerns are. My understanding is there are going to be challenges to this move, but there are also opportunities, and